Well, hello everybody. This is Joseph, your host for Scenes from the Corner, the podcast of Cartwright Corner Urban Homestead. Well, today I was inspired. No, it wasn't by looking at a beautiful sunset. No, it wasn't by hearing an amazing song. No, it wasn't reading poetry that inspired me. It was something that came from our city that said this: Coyote and Bobcat breeding season. That was the headline. We got a communique from our city saying that Bobcat and Coyote were getting ready to enter into breeding season, and because of that, they might be prowling about our streets, our yards, looking for food to eat. Well, I'm grateful to my city for staying vigilant, grateful to animal control for warning us and watching out for these things. And it got me thinking, and I was inspired. So here's your podcast. We're going to talk today about predators on the urban homestead. Now, I hope you don't have to give a ton of thought to this simply because you don't have a ton of predators. But again, I live in an urban area, Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I've got a lot of predators in my area. And it is my great desire to protect my chicken girls from any sort of predator that might come and try to take one of them away for a nice, quick, and easy meal. See, we've not only got coyote and bobcat, as the city was warning about, we've also got foxes, we've got possums, we've got raccoons, we've got hawks, and we've got owls. Well, let me tell you a story about a local raccoon. We've got a man in our group. We've got a group of people on Nextdoor. You've heard me talk about them before if you've heard other podcasts. HEB Urban Homesteaders. And they're people in my area, the Mid-Cities area, that are trying to homestead and try to do it together in community. Well, this man lost 2 of his chickens this year. Well, one of his chickens he lost to raccoons. Now, here's the crazy thing. A raccoon reached through the chicken wire, grabbed a chicken, and kept pulling the chicken, trying to pull it through the chicken wire until he basically tore the chicken apart and killed it. Of course, he was sad about that, and I would be too. So his story, before we even built our coop and run, really inspired us because we wanted to make sure that that didn't happen to one of our precious hen girls. So we're going to talk today, just for a minute, about some of the precautions and just some kind of things that we can be doing to make sure that our chicken girls are taken care of. Now, you may also have rabbits. You may also have quail or other small kind of game in your urban homestead environment. Well, these will work for protecting them as well. So let's just look at a couple things. Obviously, one of the best things you can do to protect your urban flock is to have roosters or geese with your flock. Geese make the loud honking when they see a predator, and roosters are good men and protectors by nature, and they protect their hen girls as well with noises and sometimes with pecking if needed if a predator is close by. But of course, in most urban environments, they do not allow geese or roosters, especially roosters because of their cock-a-doodle-doo. They're too loud in an urban environment. They disturb the neighbors, and most people in the city don't want that much country right in their backyard or close by. So let's just assume that roosters and geese are probably off the table as warning systems for your chicken girls. Well, let's think of some other possible things you can do, precautions to help you keep your flock safe. Here's suggestion number 1. First off, just remove all food sources. Be careful how you store your food. Don't store your chicken feed too close to your coop unless you have a certain type of container. If you've got a thick plastic container, most predators can chew through a thick plastic container to get to that food. And once you start attracting rats or you start attracting possums or raccoons that see that food, and get at that food, they're going to see your chicken girls. And when they see your chicken girls, they might just go for a quick meal. So you want to make sure you're securing your food in such a way. So what we've done is we bought a small metal snap lid trash can that actually has the handle that locks the lid on top so no raccoon or rat or anything can get inside of that. And we store it on our porch close to our chicken coop, but not in the chicken coop or by the chicken coop itself. Also at night, we take the food up out of our run and put it in with the girls in the chicken coop itself. We take the water and the food and we move it inside the chicken coop itself. And then, of course, we shut up the door to the inside of the chicken house itself so nothing can get in. And so our food is secure that way for the girls to have food and water if they want it in the evening or at night or early in the morning. But we won't be having rats and other things in there as well. So remove any food sources that a predator might want. Second, clean up around the coop. Don't have debris around the coop. Now, isn't it great when people just share their advice about things that are really good ideas, but they don't follow it themselves? Well, that's us. We've got a lot of debris around our coop. On one end, actually the end where you walk into the run. We've still got a lot of limbs that I downed in the spring to cut down out of the trees to try to get, actually it might have been last winter. Goodness gracious, I got to get rid of those. So we've got limbs piled up from where we trimmed them out of the trees to get some more sun to come in for our spring garden. I've left those there and have yet to process those and put them on our wood pile. So I'm not following my own advice, but cleaning up around the coop and not leaving any debris, that's a good second suggestion and precaution for keeping predators away from the coop itself. Those are especially happy places for things like rats to nest and possums. So yeah, keep away the debris from around as well. A third thing, and we did do this, when we actually built our coop and run, we used hardware cloth instead of traditional round chicken wire. Just like the story I told you just a moment ago about the raccoon reached through traditional chicken wire and was able to grab the chicken. Well, we have the small square hardware cloth or wire mesh that we've used around our coop to be able to keep predators out. Now, at the bottom of the run and the coop all the way around, we've actually continued the hardware cloth to the ground, and we've put it out, we've curved it outward about 12 inches. So any digging predators like foxes or raccoons that might try to dig, or even rats try to dig under the wood to get in, won't be able to do it because their claws get caught in the wire mesh. And we took that wire mesh after curving it and moving it about 12 inches there on top of the ground. We put some heavy things on top of it, staked it into the ground, and then covered it up with wood chips all the way around. And it's worked great at this point. We've had nothing get into the coop or run from underneath the coop and run because of the wire mesh, the hardware cloth. Now, likewise, you need to be thinking about what might be attacking your girls from above. So wire mesh roof on top of your run. In our case, and in most of our friends' cases that do have chickens, they have smaller runs where they're able to put a wire mesh top on it. And that's what we did to keep the hawks and the owls away and to also keep anything like rats or possums from climbing up over the top and getting into the coop or run. So putting some wire mesh on top. Now, we do let our girls free range a little bit. They get out into the yard. And so one of the things that we do is we just keep a vigilant eye. And you're always doing that for predators anyway. So just develop that vigilance. That's one of the precautions as well. But if you're going to let them free range a little bit more, there's a couple suggestions that I would give to you. One is that you string some fishing line, some of the clear fishing line, crisscross it throughout your yard, especially under tree areas and stuff where your chicken girls may be scratching, looking for worms and goodies, and crisscross that around. So if a predator tries to dive down from the top, they'll get caught in the fishing line that's hanging and crisscrossing throughout your yard where the girls are seeking to get their snacks. So yeah, use the fishing line. That's good stuff. But when we let our girls out, there's no excuse for doing anything but be vigilant. We really desire to be looking up and looking around and keeping aware. And so we like to come in and out, check on the girls, and count to make sure they're all still there and some predator didn't sneak off with one of them. And then lastly, here's one we've used, and I think this is really helpful, especially in a urban environment. Now, of course, we have guns, but I'm not going to get a gun and shoot it into my neighbor's back window because I'm trying to kill a possum that's climbing along my back fence. It's just not very good. And shooting guns in an urban environment also invites another type of thing to your property, and it's called the police department. So, of course, I'm not going to shoot guns in the city. That doesn't make any sense to try to get rid of these predators. But it's fun because one of the ways that we've gotten around that is my son, a number of Christmases ago, got a one-pump Daisy BB gun. It's just a one pump. You don't pump it 35 times, so it's like a rifle. It's just got one pump, and it loads one BB, and you shoot that BB. And it's also good for shooting squirrels in the tail to keep them out of your garden as well. But it doesn't injure. It just deters. And so if you've got some kind of hawk or something like that, get that little one-pump BB gun, give them a little sting, and that will be helpful to keeping them away as well. So again, it's not going to harm the animal itself. In most cities, it's illegal to be shooting any type of animal like that. So what we do is that. And then, of course, the last thing that you can do that I would encourage you to do is that you actually take the animals, get them trapped in a trap, and you can haul them off. The problem is with some of them, they're communal. They've got their kids around, their spouse around, whatever. And if you get one, you didn't necessarily get them all, so you got to get the whole family to get them out of your yard. If you haul one of them off, you're still going to have a lot more to deal with. They're communal. Rats are the same way. If you get one rat, if you see one rat, you can guarantee that there's lots of rats attached to that one. So it may take a different solution besides just trapping them and hauling them off. But you know what? I figure one less predator is a good thing. So to keep these animals from coming and hurting or killing your chicken girls or taking off with your eggs, these are some suggestions that I would use in an urban environment. Obviously, these work in a rural environment as well. But also in a rural environment, you may have some of the bigger predators as well. Mountain lions, more coyotes, those kinds of things. And one last predator just to keep in mind. Sometimes people are missing one of their chicken girls and don't know exactly what happened. Well, I hate to say it, but it may be wise to check the family dog. Maybe old Spot, old Fido, old Red, maybe he's gotten him a mouthful of chicken and had him a good little snack. So watch your dogs. They're good protectors, but sometimes they get a little hungry and they want to snack themselves. And so sometimes the predator might be your dog, or it could be a neighbor's dog or something like that. So always keep that in mind as well. Train your dogs around your chickens to stay away. So that's it. Those are some suggestions from me. Hope those are helpful. Hope those are inspiring. Maybe not like it was for me, but hope you're inspired anyways. And by the way, if you don't have chickens, get some. If you don't have a garden, get you one. Encourage you guys towards homesteading. Wherever you are, even if it's an apartment, get you a container, plant you some tomatoes and herbs, and enjoy an urban homesteading experience. Well, I appreciate you guys listening. I would ask you to kind of follow us on Instagram if you would. How about going to Instagram.com/Cartwright_corner. Cartwright_corner on Instagram. If you would also find us on YouTube. Just type in Cartwright Corner on YouTube and you'll see some videos we make about our urban homestead adventures. Bless you guys. We'll see you and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.